Nebraska versus Colorado, Matt Rhule versus Deion Sanders. This is going to turn out to be a pretty good one, I think. I think you have a high scoring offense, but then you have an NFL type team in Nebraska, which building in Nebraska. It's year two of Matt Rhule. He used the transfer portal very, very well his first year, before his first year even started, and you saw those glimpses. Um, to me, Matt Rhule is an A coach. He's a grade A coach. He is already showing what he's done at Nebraska. Will they end up winning a national championship? I'm not talking that far down the line. I'm just saying, from being able to flip Nebraska from what they were to where they are headed, you can tell. But like I've stated before, Dion flipping Colorado from one win the year before, and then he gets there, he wins four wins, but somehow that's not good enough. Matt Rhule, Deion Sanders, both in their first year, Deion beats Matt Rhule in Nebraska, doesn't get any credit. People laugh at Deion because he loses a bunch of games. Nebraska gets no hate at all. And now, do I understand the other side? When you're very flashy, people want you to fail. When you talk a big game, people want you to fail. That's just the way that it goes. And I've said it before, that's a hater. It is what it is. We've seen it with LeBron James. I've seen it with Steph Curry. I've seen it with Bryce Harper. You want me to keep going? I've seen it with Jason Tatum. Let's go football. I've seen it with Patrick Mahomes. I've seen it with Lamar Jackson. The greatest players. I've seen it with Caitlin Clark. Bro, how did I forget that? The greatest players always have people preying on their downfall. Now, one, it may be for content. Two, it may be just because they genuinely don't like that person because of how much attention they get. And some people struggle with that whole, I don't know if it's a self identity crisis, or they hate that somebody else gets a lot of attention and they don't. Maybe they hate how easy it is for that person to get attention. One, Dion worked his tail off. All right, so he deserves it. And I'm not talking about as a coach, I'm talking about as a player. So it is what it is, you know. But Matt Rhule, coming from the NFL, this man has put his head down and he's put in work. Nebraska is a very good football team, and then you added the key piece that they needed, Dylan Raiola. You added a quarterback that looks like Patrick Mahomes. He's smooth, he's got swag, doesn't seem to get flustered by anything, and so now you have a very good quarterback in Dylan Raiola, who is in his freshman year, and you have Shadeur Sanders, who's in his senior year. Shadeur might be a top 10 pick. Yeah, I could say top 5, but for sure top 10 pick. You got Travis Hunter, could be a top 10 pick, will be a top 10 pick. Going against Dylan Raiola, who in the future, he might be a top 5, top 10 pick. I know that these teams are very, not balanced, but they know their identity. And that's kind of what I'm curious to see is first year offense coordinators for defense and offense for Colorado. Matt Rhule keeping things the same going into year two. Are we going to see a team emerge? Are we going to see one of these teams emerge as a year two, we are where we need to be more than you are? It looks like Nebraska may be there, but also you got Colorado, who's got a bunch of transfers and two true freshmen starting on offense. They will get better as the season goes. But Nebraska going into year two, are they better right now? This is a very, very fun game to watch if you're a football fan. If you're a college football fan, I think this, Texas and Michigan, and the North Carolina State and Tennessee game, I think those are big games to watch. And I'll move on. Shador is going to have to deal with pressure. Last year, we saw that. We saw Shadeur Sanders get hit more than any quarterback in the nation, right? Nebraska has an NFL D line, has a few guys at linebacker that are NFL, not bound, but NFL type. They are very Chicago Bears type defense, and they're going to punch you in the mouth. Can Shador, A, get away from the pressure, deal with it, make passes against the pressure of the blitz? B, can their offensive line be better than it was last year? I am a big believer in if you going into year two do not better the things you weren't good at in year one, it's hard for me to buy stock in you, right? Same thing with Clemson. Hard to buy stock. It's hard to buy stock before they played Georgia. But Colorado's offensive line has got to do better. They have to. And I don't mean from week one to week two. Now, yes, they didn't do the greatest in week one, but I'm saying in a way from last year to this year, if they want to make a run and beat teams that people say they have no chance at beating, their offensive line has to be better. Two, their defensive line has to be better. It's got to be a lot better. Warren Sapp, where you at? All right? You played North Dakota State. You can't tell me all five of those offensive linemen from North Dakota State are going to the NFL. You can't tell me that. But what you can tell me is that you're developing. You're getting better. That's what I want to see. Now, Nebraska, they have three offensive linemen who will possibly get drafted in the next 2 years. So they've got some big bodies. They've got two running backs who I personally think are very good. I think one is very good. I think the other one's a very good complement to him. They've got two linebackers. One is which from Georgia. They have two of them though that I think are outstanding when it comes to stopping the run. How will they deal with stopping the pass in a pass-oriented Colorado team? We're about to find out. And that's the biggest thing is I think there's a lot of strengths that Colorado have that Nebraska is weak at, and I think there's a lot of strengths Nebraska has that Colorado's weak at. Nebraska doesn't mind smash mouth football, and they don't mind running it up your gut the whole game. Colorado struggles with the run. They don't have the greatest defensive line. They don't have the greatest linebackers from what we have seen in the first week. It's flip-flop. Colorado loves to pass. They love the short game. They love the screens. They love the out routes. They love the deep ball. They love passing the ball. Nebraska, you got a lot of run-stopping oriented linebackers. Now, DB-wise, haven't really been able to tell much about the DB, strong safety, all that. But I can tell you this. If their linebackers, if Nebraska's linebackers do not come to play, Shadeur will throw for 75,000 yards this game. No, but he will throw for over 400. And this will be a second straight 400 game of the year. But the other side, if Colorado's offensive line does not come to play, Nebraska's big-bodied linebackers are going to be breaking Shadeur in half. Nebraska, if your offensive line manhandles Colorado's D-line like we all think is going to happen compared to week one, then Dylan Raiola might only have to pass the ball 15 to 18 times. But if they come to play, or if there are adjustments made in the sense of stacking five down linemen, maybe three linebackers, and causing some one-on-ones and making the freshmen have to beat players or beat one-on-one coverage, that may be your answer, But I don't want to see Colorado's defense get beat by the same thing over and over and over. So, who am I going to pick to win? Who are we going to pick to win? First, I wanted to say Nebraska, and that was before I made this video, before I even thought about it. It was also before I found out that Colorado beat Nebraska last year, and I was like, yikes. Nebraska's a lot better. Colorado is better. Colorado may not have a defense, but they don't mind getting in a shootout with you. Nebraska, not a shootout type team. At least have it been. Matt Rhule is a very good coach, and as much as I hate to pick against Deion, I'm not going to. I'm going to take Colorado to win this game. I think it's going to be in the 40s. I think it'll be a 40, 45, 38, 42, 35. It's going to be up there. It's not going to be a low-scoring game. These teams both are not where they need to be, but offensively are a lot further along than they are defensively. So, guess we'll find out. So, yeah, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see you later.